Hi guys, so in this video I'm gonna show you how to solder from mini Tamiya to Dean's. It's super easy, you can do it, no problem. First off, you of course need to buy your Dean's plugs. They come in a male version, this would be in your gun, and a female version, which would be on your battery. The reason why this should always be on the battery is because if you put this on the battery, you have two live contacts here. You know, if you short circuit them, you can short circuit them quite easy. So this is why this always needs to go on the battery. So first off, I'm gonna prep the plug. This normally we have some kind of residue from the process of making these on the contact here itself. This is where the wires go. You have a choice when you're putting on wires. You can see it's offset a little bit. I usually put my wire here because then it's more like centralized when we're done. And I'm gonna put it underneath this because it just looks nicer, so we don't have a big wire up here. So first off, some kind of abrasive material, like this is a file list. Sorry for the beeping noise, it's my soldering iron. I can just turn it off. So, some scratches. Here's one. And I'm gonna prep it with some solder. I'll turn on the soldering iron again. So, right now we are just prepping. This solder is 60-40. You will know what that means if you know anything about solder, but yeah, just get solder with a flux core. When you go into a shop and ask for something like with a flux core, they will know what you mean. So, typical to get this, you don't have to have a lot on it. It just needs to adhere. So normally what I do, just to start off the soldering iron, just give it a little solder to make contact. Put it on at an angle, just rest it on the side and push in the solder from the side, like this. There you go. If we can get that to focus, that would be very lovely. Yep, like this. And of course, we'll see if I can angle this so you guys can see what I'm doing. You will have to angle, it's a bit difficult, but here you can see how I do this. Of course, just a little tap on here at an angle, don't touch the plastic. There you go. So that's the plug prepped, and then we're gonna have to prep the wires. I'm just gonna put this back in here. So some people twist wires like this when you take off the insulation. Some people will twist them. I don't. I will show you why. So this has just been, the insulation has been taken off. Now I'm gonna twist it. And this is called the twisting. Like you twist the wires up like this. Yep. I'm just gonna get some helping hands. And I will show you. So I'm gonna put my soldering iron to this. Nope. You see the solder is quite bad. Oh yeah, there it is. Come on, little focus, please. So you see the solder has a hard time going down the actual wire. It's because when you twist the wire, it's a good practice when you're using wires that don't have these super fine strains for normal electronic purposes, like whatever, you would have a thicker strain inside your wires. Then it makes sense to twist them because the soldering will just run down. But normally these high conductive wires in airsoft, they are so finely strained that if you twist it like this, you'll actually make some kind of, you always make a solid core inside where the solder cannot run. So that's why I don't twist airsoft wires or these very fine strain. This is an untwisted. Going again. Just prep, just heat up the subject a little. There you go. I'll just leave a little bit untouched. Now I'll just put it in here. So you will have, oh, that is quite hot. See, this one is strands that escaped. You can just plug it off. But the solder runs a lot smoother down. So that's why I do what I do. So back to the actual battery. When I start, I normally find it good practice to start with the positive wire, the red one. This rig is just for to dissipate heat. So I put this on. This was the plug we just prepped, and I put it on a male with some wires on. These don't go anywhere, so I can dissipate some heat because otherwise the plastic is gonna melt. So we're gonna prep this one wire at a time. Do not do this. You'll have a short circuit, and you'll not have a very good time. So I will just normally mark these two wires. I bent them. That's where I want to cut them. I just assemble them together like this and just give them a good squeeze, because when I cut this over here and go soldering on here, if I have this long a wire and gonna measure where I'm gonna cut it, you could have a chance of short circuit it again. So just make a bend and leave this over here. Of course, prepping the wire again, taking off the insulation. Yep, there it goes. And some solder, just a little to make contact. Put it on, heat up the subject a little bit. I'll just go in here, heat it up, and just start pushing the solder in. That's the wire prepped, wire one. Then you're gonna have some heat shrink. Doesn't matter the color, this is just black. Snip off a piece. Make sure this is cooled down a little, or else if you put the heat shrink on and this is hot, it will just shrink onto this. But push it down, all the way down here. Get your prep plug, soldering iron, a bit of tin, solder, and you will hold this against the plug and just go down here. I know it's easier to do it up here, but this is just how I normally do it. So, and make sure not to contact the plastic. And when you see both things melt together, release. Just hold it. It can get hot, but use like whatever you want to hold it. Now it's on. To secure that we don't have any short circuit, make it cool down just a little bit, and then slide on the heat shrink. There we go. This is just a little torch with some heat. There you go. Now it's stuck. Now you actually have a quite secure system for not short-circuited anything. So we're gonna have to cut away the negative lead. Prep it as well. New solder. It's a little bit difficult to solder while looking at the screen at the same time, but I'm getting there. Piece of heat shrink. There we go. And once again, just hold it. I'll take this. Hold it on top of this. Put the soldering iron on it, and you will feel the two join. Just let it cool. Just slide over the heat shrink. I should have gone with a little bit bigger heat shrink here, but yeah, it works. And secure it. And there you go. You got Deans on it. The reason why this should always be on top, it's self-explanatory, but the plug has a guide. It says a plus here, so you have to put the positive wire on top. Always. It's an industry standard, so just do it. Don't reinvent the wheel. So, that's soldering. Done, nice and strong. So, until next time, see you.